All right, so it's all about knowing your hand positions for each chord. So for your first chord, you have a G7 chord, first inversion. That means instead of G being in the bass, you're gonna have your B natural be in the bass, in the bass. So you're gonna have your first fingers to the left, your furthest left fingers of each hand. So in your left hand, that's your pinky, in your right hand, that's your thumb. You're gonna have B, and then D, and then F, and then G. You're actually I'm gonna use them in this position here, always leaving out my middle finger. That's just how I like to play it. But then you just play the pattern in this chord position. All right, and you play it slowly first. You can also just play it with one hand first, and then play it in the other hand. All right, so this is why we practice playing our scales with both hands in these different finger positions, like I've shown you before. Like, all right, so that's why we practice playing our scales. That's a very, very poor example of that, but that's why we practice playing our scales with both hands at the same time with these interesting. There we go, that's slightly better. So then when we go to do things like this, then we're able to move our fingers quickly and they respond to one another. But that takes practice, that takes time, so don't get discouraged if it takes you a while. So anyway, that's the first chord. The next chord you move to is just a little bit off. So we were here at our G7 chord with B in the bass, and then you're going to move up to your C minor. And in this position, we're actually going to have our top fingers moving between G and A flat. So it's going to look like this. All right, so see how these two fingers are moving back and forth between these. It really adds an element of syncopation to it as we're going. All right, playing with which 16th note of the beat we're landing on there. So, like I said, do it slowly at first. Whoops. And left hand. When you have your F minor chord, so you're going there from your C minor chord, here's your C minor chord that you were just on. And then when we go to our F minor chord, it's actually going to have, similarly, our top fingers moving between two notes, but I'm going to play it with 4 fingers here. So we're here, we just did our, and then you're keeping these top fingers here, and let's go top down. We're going to have G, F, C, and A flat. So you're kind of spreading your fingers here quite a bit. It feels funky. It's gonna feel funky at first, so it's gonna take some getting used to, because the progression here, the notes here you have are, because that's quite a wide interval there. You've got G going down to, or sorry, you've got F going down to, you're spreading, these fingers are spread over a very wide interval here. Notice that G and A flat are right next to each other here, but then across the octave, that's a whole major seventh apart. So that's quite a big interval there that we've got. So anyway, the F minor chord part goes like this. So my fingers were like that. That's right, because I came from. then so breaking that apart. Oh, whoops, we have. Whoops, one more time. Over here we have. So we went over G7, we went over C minor, then F minor, and then you're going to have C minor, G7, C minor, F minor, again, the same ways we just played them. And then you have G again, but it's not G7 this time. This time it's actually just G, but we're adding in A flat in the top, and it's going to repeat for 3 measures, building tension each time. So and we'll go over that too in just a moment. So your G position for this hand, similar to what we had with the G7, except there's no F this time because the F was the 7, and we just no longer have the 7, so we're taking that out. So we're leaving B in the bass, so we're going to have. So similarly to what we had earlier, the G, these top fingers here, I mean top, I mean this way, are moving between the G and the A flat a little bit. So let me try that again. Whoops. All right, so then you play that a few times, and then the last measure you're just gonna have. So, and then touch this. You can't see it; it's out of the camera, but it's an E flat all the way up here. Whoa, whacked the camera there. You're gonna have E flat all the way up here, and then you go back to. Then you arrive at letter G, or on the third time you go back to the coda at letter K. But either way, each time you're gonna slide and land down on that C minor chord. So C in the bass with that E flat G C, so that first inversion in your right hand. So some practice tips. What you could do first, instead of just trying to dive right in and playing all the notes and the rhythms, just get the chords, just get those block chords first. So along with the recording, you could find where those chords are. Go, okay, so think in your head, C minor, and then F minor with that G in the top, back to C minor, and then you have your G7 again, then C minor, F minor, and then G, right? Whoops. Yeah, and I was even adding a few embellishments in there, but you don't even have to do any of those. You can just add those block chords and add the alternating top notes afterwards. Then the next thing you can do is just practice each hand separately, slowly. So for that first chord, I'm just going to play the notes slowly. Again, 2, ready, go. The other thing you can do is put on a metronome while you're doing this. So let me turn on my metronome. 1, 2, ready, and. Again, 2, ready, and. If you need to, you could slow it down a lot more. Let's slow it down. Again, obviously that's really slow, but that's going to help you be able to play it faster. Then I could do the same thing with the left hand, and then if you're feeling ambitious, you can do both of them together. And that all might seem really tedious right now, but if you do a little bit of it every single day, it's going to get easier and you're going to get better. This takes time. Be patient with yourself. It's really fun once you get it, and it's also just really fun to practice it and to be working towards it. So be patient with yourself, have fun, and know that this experience is for you and you can do this.